Hi, welcome back to my channel where we discuss everything occupational therapy and sexuality related. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the importance of sexual expression and intimacy with the geriatric population. So, what is sexual expression and intimacy? Sexual expression can be defined as an individual's capability to express themselves as a sexual being, where intimacy is that feeling of closeness that one may feel with their partner with or without a physical component. As I mentioned earlier, sexual expression is described as the way a person experiences sexuality and communicates sexuality with others. And sexuality is just very central and important to an individual's sexual identity. And that is because as we get older, as we age, our body changes. Our skin tends to loosen up. We get wrinkles, our body weight changes, and that overall affects our sexual self view, which is how we view ourselves as a sexual being. Ultimately, just affecting how we express our sexuality, making us feel a little more timid, making us feel like, oh no, we're probably not looking good to our partner, and such as. So, to help with sexual expression, I kind of want to start talking about sex positivity. And sex positivity is that idea that people should have that space to embody and explore an individual's sexuality without judgment or shame. And in doing so, we can start by exploring individuals' fantasies or the different sensations you may like in your body, or communicating your sexual wants and needs to your partner so they know how to better fulfill them. Communication is key here. And overall, developing a positive relationship with an individual's body or body image. Another one with sexual expression is preferred roles. What role would the individual like to take on? Or mannerism to express their gender identity, including the pronouns they choose for themselves, he, she, they, and more. And the appearances are a big one, I feel like. So how a individual chooses to appear, so what their clothes look like, if they get their nails done, if they decide to dye their hair, or just dressing up in general, are all just forms of sexual expression. So intimacy is that as a person's ability to initiate and maintain close intimate relationships, which includes their ability to both give and receive affection, which is needed for successful interactions in being a role as a partner. I feel like intimacy is just very important because it plays a role in quality of life. It can help prevent depression, boost self esteem, and give elderly people a sense of satisfaction to their lives. Being emotionally intimate in a relationship helps the elderly feel more connected and brings out the best in both themselves as well as their partner. This right here is a list of ways that we can be intimate. The very first one is communication with their partner. So, this is where you can kind of express your needs and wants to your partner. And then changing a routine, which includes, it's the fact that like usually everyone's day is pretty same, and like the same old same kind of gets boring. So just change things up and spice things up a little bit. Then setting aside time for date nights, and then setting the mood. So bringing your partner flowers that morning, or, flirting with them throughout the day, kind of help building the mood to whatever, which kind of leads to physical intimacy, which is, more of that holding hands, hugging, kissing. A study that I saw showed that physical touch had lowered partners' levels of cortisol and stress hormone on days that they have enjoyed higher levels of physical touch, like hand holding or hugging. And for people who don't know, higher levels of cortisol can have been found to an increase in heart rate and blood pressure. So this is a pretty big or good thing, positive thing. Another study I was looking at has also found that regular and repeated physical touch was linked to an increased oxytocin, which is a soothing and well-being promoting hormone. And that also lowers cortisol in both partners and had shown lower blood pressure among husbands in this study. Overall, I feel like physical intimacy just kind of leaves people feeling content and more relaxed and more alert. Ultimately, sexuality is often affected by one's emotional and physical state. So, as I mentioned earlier, our body goes through changes. We gain or lose weight, our skin loosens up, muscle tone changes, and this may end up having negative views on ourselves. So having a negative sexual self view ultimately affects how we express ourselves sexually or how intimate we are with our partners, because you're wondering, hey, does my partner find me attractive anymore? And this is why, as healthcare professionals, this is if this is a concern that your clients bring up, please address it, because overall, intimacy plays a huge role in the geriatric population's quality of life.